Well, let's see what's going on in the greenhouse. Swimming pool converted to a greenhouse. I'm in Central Texas. Today's March 10th, 2023. Most exciting news is my chayote sprouted. At least one of them did. This is going to go out in the terrace. Pretty excited about this because I've been trying to sprout these for 3 years. Chayote is fruit you can get. I know around here HEB has it, the Omart in Killeen has it. Anyway, it's a vine that grows about 50 feet, and what you see, the seed that I planted, is actually the fruit. Anyway, pretty excited about that because I've been trying for a while. Everything seems to be going good. I'm going to start from the top here on my wall. Got my lettuce there. Got my radishes here, which are ready to harvest. I got the turnips doing good. This bottom area, I just threw a bunch of succulents in. See what they end up doing. Turnips are doing good. Broccoli and cauliflower are doing good. The peas really don't seem to be doing good. The color just seems off compared to what I have outside in the garden. I don't know if it's too hot in here. And then strawberries are doing good, and they have been producing some strawberries. Going back to the top, these are, I'm trying to think of the name. They are Bush beefsteak. They're a determinate variety. Got 6 of those. I've got a few more outside. Another nice surprise, like I said, keep in mind it's March 10th. Jalapeno here, bell pepper. But if you look in, I mean, they're fixing to flower. The bell pepper's fixing to flower. And I'm pretty sure the jalapeno's fixing to flower too. So I got a great head start on that. These are more peanut seeds. These are 2 different varieties of lavender. Running through all my stuff that's going to go out into the terrace. The kiwi's not going good, and keep in mind I'm still on well water here in the greenhouse, and that's not good. It's very alkaline and high mineral content. But a lot of the plants are struggling because of it. I think I talked about separating rooms. Let me back up here. But these 5 buckets over here and these 5 buckets over here are, I've got cantaloupe on one end, honeydew on the other end, and then I got 2 different cucumbers. This is a parthenogenic cucumber, which doesn't need to be pollinated and shouldn't have any seeds. Anyway, on this side they're a small thin skin for pickling, and on this side these 4 are longer ones. But I guess what my plan is to have 2 rooms in the greenhouse. So as these grow straight up on strings, it's going to separate this bottom deck into a different room. That may help with the cooling as the wind blows through there. Going down to the citrus bottom, I've got most of the grapes stringed up. You can see here I've got a string running to the top. So I've got one on this side wall. I've got 2 on this one. I've got a grape plant here and a grape plant there. And then on this back wall, I mounted 2 strings. I've got this one, which is a black Spanish grape. Anyway, I think this weekend I'm gonna put this back deck board on, and then I'll mount that Spanish grape here, so it'll start growing up this wall. All in all, things are doing okay. We are getting temperatures like 104, 105 degrees in here, but I'm not seeing any wilting like on lettuce and stuff that you would think can't take the heat, because I guess the humidity is good. But got a fig tree. This is my olive tree. This is an avocado, which actually fell when I was carrying it with it outside the pot, carrying it down here to plant it, and it actually fell. And when I fell, it became a bare root. Anyway, it lost every leaf on it. You can see the leaves on the bottom of the pot, but it's showing a little fuzzy, so I think it's going to leaf out. Real red grapefruit. This is a Satsuma orange. Dwarf Meyer. I'm still showing some signs of problems, and it's looking like a iron deficiency. If you can look at these leaves here, But when I was researching it, if your pH is too high, it affects a plant's ability to uptake iron. So I don't think I have an iron problem. I've got a water problem. So I've got to get the rainwater piped into here real quick, or I'm gonna really suffer. Anyway, Meyer lemon. That's an unknown. This is a Meyer lemon. That's the great plant I was talking about. Not sure if I talked about this. This is a cinnamon tree. About every 2 years, you can just kind of crop it, and then you cut these branches into 3-inch pieces. Let me get where I cut the branches into 3-inch pieces, and then just slit it down and peel off the outer bark, and it'll curl up and dry, and that's your cinnamon. Pretty excited about that one. This is my green stalk, which is doing great. I've been harvesting lettuce pretty regularly. This is romaine, and looks like some of it is starting to head up, form little heads. Anyway, the strawberries are starting to bloom, and these are June-bearing strawberries. Banana plant, which already has some pups coming out, which are the baby plants coming out the bottom. This is a Cavendish, and I think it gets 8 to 10 feet tall. So far, I really believe it's never going to freeze in this greenhouse, so I think I got a good shot at getting a harvest. That plant down there is a coffee plant. I kind of treat it like an understory plant, and it's doing pretty well. I have actually got one in the house that's not doing good, so I think it likes this environment. Here's my peanut plants that I grew from seed. I want to talk about this real quick. Let me sit down. So the peanut plant is going to grow big, and then it's going to produce flowers, and then from the flower it's going to, I think it's called a stamen, but I'll just call it a stem. It's going to throw a stem into the dirt, and where it hits the dirt is going to produce a peanut. So one of the keys if you're going to do these in container plants is you want as wide of a container as possible. Let's say the container was only this wide and the flower comes out to here. When it goes down, it's just going to hit the deck. It's not going to go in the dirt. So a very wide container is needed if you're going to go grow peanuts in containers. Let me go outside real quick. So outside things are doing good. I started another green stalk with lettuce. So I got one variety at the bottom, one variety up here. This is my tub of carrots, and then I've got, I don't know what this one is, probably a broccoli, but the rest of these are red cabbage. Muck bucket of potatoes. And keep in mind it's March 10th and we're not past our average frost date yet, but got a really good jump start on the potatoes. If we do get a freeze, I'll end up moving them back in the greenhouse. But I kind of like this setup. You know, it's an 8-foot drop. There's not going to be any deer pressure. But I got varying stages of potatoes. And all that dirt on the ground is from me filling in the potatoes as they grow. Here's an example. Just keep adding dirt as they grow until we got dirt all the way to the top. And I've got Roma tomato and some more of my bush beefsteaks, and then I've got a couple of artichokes. Like I said, I'm kind of liking this. I may end up putting a drip rail across here. But can start them in the greenhouse very, very early, move them outside, and then if we're going to have a freeze, I'll move them outside. If there's going to be a freeze, I'll just move them back inside. I'm not sure if I talked about the shade fabric. I had some videos that wouldn't upload, so I'm not really sure where I left off. But we were getting 104, 105 degrees inside, and that's when the outside temperature was like 85, 86 degrees, but full sun. So I bought this shade fabric to cover half of it. It's 40. And this side is actually staying 10 degrees cooler than the far side over here, so I think it's working. So I did order another section. These are 20 foot by 24 foot, and this greenhouse is 40 to 50 feet long. Anyway, I ordered the other one, so we're going to have a full coverage of shade fabric, and once the other one comes in, we'll have it done a little bit nicer than it is now. I used hook bolts down here instead of eye bolts, just so I could loop the rope around there. But hopefully this weekend, as well, within, I guess we got a little coolness coming in, so there's not a big deal. Next 2 or 3 weeks I'll get the other shade fabric put on. But I want to show you, go back inside and show you another thing I did for cooling down. I set up this mister system, and it's really a hose end sprayer that has a mist setting. And let me turn it on real quick and explain why I did this versus a regular mist system. Anyway, regular mist system, my water system being well water, like I moved a regular mist system in my greenhouse to try to, into my chicken coop to keep the chickens cool in the summertime. And it wasn't 5 or 10 minutes, it just clogged up. So I ended up I needed a bigger nozzle. But this seems to be working. On hot days, you know, because of my temperature, my Govee temperature thing, which there's one right there, it actually Bluetooths my phone and I get hour to hour temperature. Anyway, it seems to be that 104, 105 degrees is coming between 1 and 3 o'clock. And, you know, the fan kicks on at 80 or 85 degrees. So really all I need to do is put a timer. This is where it's tied in. But I'll just... Phone keeps cutting out. It's going to be a choppy video. Anyway, I put a timer here just to turn the mist system on between 1 and 3 every day. And I think it's going to work. And I did pipe it in for a total of 3. So there's one there, the one I'm using, and the one there. And I do have it, I think the banana plants are where they could probably enjoy rain every day, so I've got it where it's going to hit it, that and my green stock. I mean, those are 2 things that probably can get watered every day. Anyway, it seems to be working. I mean, it's going to be a month or 2 before we know for sure. But the cooling is something I do have to deal with. You think about people that have hoop houses, that's probably the most common greenhouse around here. I mean, it's a hoop. The walls, you know, the walls come straight up and then it hoops, but that wall is made where you can roll the plastic fabric up. So in the summertime, you know, the side walls are open to the air. I mean, I don't have that luxury with the way I built this, so I've got to, well, I'm just going to keep working on it until I figure it out. I'm not against this misting system. My fan is definitely undersized. I think when I did the math, it exchanges the air every 3 minutes, whereas on a greenhouse, from what I looked at, they want you to exchange the air 3 times a minute. I'm doing it once every 3 minutes, so this is like 9 times too small. But like I said, we'll keep working on it. I can add another fan underneath it. I can turn this whole wall into a screen wall. I can take this wall over here, turn it into a screen wall. Anyway, sorry about the choppiness. I think my storage on my phone is messed up. Instead of 10-minute videos, it's stopping me at like 1 minute. I gotta go delete a bunch of videos. Anyway, that's just a quick update in early March. I mean, honestly, it's working great, but things I gotta do for the future, but we'll keep plugging in it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video and you have a great day.